In this video today we're looking at a Palitoy talking K-9 from the late 1970s, early 1980s. Great toy. Basically there's a push button on his back that when you depress it the tail pops up because of an internal mechanism, and K-9 says a number of phrases, which is good. There's an internal record player just there. If we look at this one, you can see he is not in the best condition. He's very sun faded, which is a real shame. In fact, he's very yellowed. He's also got some damaged antennae that you can see just there, and all of his stickers are extremely sun faded as well. I suspect this toy has been left on a windowsill for many years and the sun has just ravaged it. Yeah. To offer some contrast and really demonstrate what I mean about the sun fading on this, I'm just going to wheel in another one I've got in the collection that is non-sun bleached. Probably turn him around like that, so you can see it's not down to bad camera lighting. That's basically been yellowed over many times. Also, that's a replacement sticker on there that's lifted, and that's a replacement necktie as well just there. So that's basically the condition of this thing that we're looking at. How did he work? Well, underneath here there's a toy voice box made by a company called Ozen, as opposed to the Tomy ones in the other toys, and that opens up and a record clips on there, and the whole needle and talking mechanism is in here. I shall do another video that shows you how to repair that, and I might have a go at trying to fix or somehow replace that record which is missing from there. But there we have it for now. A talking Palitoy K-9. I'm going to take him to bits and attempt to de-yellow this, because and take this out as well, this broken and glued and badly spray painted antennae as well. So I'm going to take him to bits and I'll be back. Okay, I've just spent a little bit of time and taken K-9 to pieces. Here we've got the voice box that comes with this toy. This one's a non-functioner, dead easy to fix. Very different to the Dalek one that you might see in some of my different videos, but otherwise that's okay. Getting meowed at by a cat there. This is the presser button that we have on the back. K-9's computer data bank. That's the piece that gets depressed. It sits inside the toy on a pivot like that, which is there. Again, that sticker needs replacing. This is K-9's side panel. Again, that just clips in to that gap just there. Better off out. This section is not the most complicated piece of toy moulding I've ever seen in my life. That's K-9's gun nozzle. This is a section that sits on the front of K-9 here. Just a piece of moulded rubber. Sometimes that's missing on these toys. It's really easy to replace. Here's the damaged set of antennae. I'm not quite sure how one will fix that, but I will. That was glued in to the head with super glue, so I've had to remove that. This is the tail, one of the rarest pieces you see on these toys, because more often than not someone or something has chewed that off the end, so the fact that's in one piece is good. That's a little lug that's snapped off there, which is easy enough to put back on. This is the chassis of K-9. These toys are a bugger to get to part, but it's quite easy to do once you just have to almost tease the plastic off the chassis. And then at the top we've got this, which is the sight glass from K-9's head. Again, this is clearly broken at some point in this toy's history, and the previous owner has used some form of modelling cement to, if you can see that, has used some form of modelling cement to stick this onto the head. So getting that off, they normally just clip in, but that was really quite irritating to get off. So super glue, thank you. So put those bits to one side. The body of the dog, or the computerized dog, you've got that K-9 that's moulded into the body. Internally, you can see, you should be able to see the difference between the ones that have been colour faded and not. So, and again, it's quite clear if you can see that with the light on this one, that when I've taken the computer bank off here, the difference in colour. Inside nice and silver grey, outside quite a nasty yellowed K-9. How do you get rid of this? It's got a lovely sheen on it. I don't want to lose that. I've been doing some research on the internet and find that submerging it in hydrogen peroxide is the key to de-yellowing. That is so badly gone, it jars with other things that are from the same vintage. So I would never display that as it is, but what I can do is try and fix it and see if that's possible. Okay, the technique I'm going to use to do this is by submerging this K-9 in some 12% hydrogen peroxide solution. If you can see, is that going to pull into focus? If you can see that, got that off the internet, £3.50. You can buy this from Boots, which is available, albeit the solution is a little bit weaker. Another alternative is to use peroxide hair treatment stuff. So problem we've got here is it's quite a sizable piece of toy, so I'm only going to be able to do 1/2 hopefully at a time, and basically I need some big wastes of space in there, so I want to use as minimum amount of peroxide as possible. So I'll try and fill this unused area with something, and maybe underneath K-9 as well, so I'm not using as much solution. I'll set it up, come back, and I'll show you what I'm going to do. Okay, here you can see I've submerged K-9 completely and utterly in this hydrogen peroxide solution. You then put this outside in the sunshine for a couple of days, and hopefully the chemical will have attacked some of that awful yellowing. You can see already there's some bubbles beginning to get released from that. What that means I don't know. You'll also see I've piled some weights in here. That's purely done to displace the peroxide to make sure it reaches a higher level. Okay. Okay, here we've got the K-9 out of the solution. You can see the big difference that makes there from the half that's been done, that was all yellow and sun bleached, and the half that wasn't. That's basically been in your hydrogen peroxide solution for about 12 hours, so it does a great job, doesn't it? Right, okay, now we need to get this second half in, and then hopefully we'll have a more uniform colour. It'll look more like the original than this version that's been bleached in the sun. Okay, after a day or so's treatment using the hydrogen peroxide, this is the result. So a good measure is to remember how this piece looked. That was completely contrasting with the rest. So now he looks a lot more silver than he looked before. Is it perfect? It could probably be better. Probably need to adjust the white balance of this video a little bit because he still looks, I don't know, does it look green there? I don't think it does. So that basically works really well for the sake of £3.50 on a ton of hydrogen peroxide, well, a litre of hydrogen peroxide, 12% volume, much more potent than the stuff you get in Boots. So pleased with that. Let's see. Obviously need to put him back together, print off some new stickers, somehow get rid of this. If you can see the top of the head, someone's applied silver spray paint to that. That's really easy to get off with oven cleaner. So there we have it. That's the current progress. Okay, what I'm going to do now is take some Mr. Muscle oven cleaner and apply it to this section on the top of K9's head. I'm doing this in a ventilated garage. This stuff is caustic, and it is something that you need to be very, very careful of. Put a liberal covering on there, basically leave that for 20 minutes, and you will see it has the effect of lifting that silver paint off, which is really effective. I'll be back in a few minutes when it's done. Okay, this is only a matter of 10 minutes later, and you can see if I wipe this nasty causticy stuff off this K9 shell gently, you'll see all that silver paint is gone. Simple, 10 minutes worth of work. Happy with that. Okay, for this K9 I've photoshopped some replacement stickers and bought some really high gloss printer paper, and that matches quite well how it would have looked on the original. Photoshopping those things is really, really easy to do. Maybe I should do a video of that at some point in the future. I'm now going to get the almost refurbished K9 and pop these new stickers on. Okay, here we are with the completed Palitoy talking K9. This example needed quite a little bit of work. First and foremost, I had to replace and turn round the antennae that had become missing, and what was left had been placed in the wrong position. This red visor had become cracked, so that's been repaired. I've reprinted and replaced all the stickers that were sun bleached and spoiled on the original. I've printed that directly onto some glossy paper. The body of the K9 was in quite a sun bleached stage. It's passable now and looks quite nice. I had to basically soak the elements of the body in hydrogen peroxide 12% solution for a couple of days. So that's that bit done. As you can see, it's removed a significant amount of that yellowing that was present on the original. It actually looked a little bit green, so that's been done with it as well. Very happy with it. There is something else that I've done involving the speech. This example came without a record. I have moulded and made a replacement disc for this example, which I will do another video of, because it's quite interesting and quite challenging. I've taken 2 casts from it so far and still it's not exactly what I wanted. So here we go, the toy's finished now, and it's been taken from quite a dilapidated state into something that looks rather nice. Certainly for display purposes it's fine, it's complete and it looks good.